The next section is what could you do better? So if there were issues, right? So these are like the opportunities for improvement. So this is where you have an opportunity to give them a little bit of feedback on their performance, give them some things that they need to improve and track that, right? Make sure that you're following up on that. Did you get that done? Is that going better? Those sorts of things. And the last part is what's next. So what's next is what are you working on right now? What are your deliverables for this week, for next week? And hold them to that. So those are the things that you're writing down. Okay, so Greg is going to be finishing that document. And then the next meeting you have, you're looking at that list item and going, was that done? So this is where you're really tracking performance, making sure that they are holding to those objectives and then following up with them. If you use this document collaboratively with them, it's a good way for them to also check, like, what did I promise I was going to do and have I done that yet? So a way for them to see things they could improve. And then it's also a place to record all the wins. So when you're looking at performance analysis, right, you're considering them for a raise, these are like great things to have a document around. The final thing that I have in those meetings, which is something that you don't have to do, but I think is really good to do, especially when you're trying to establish your relationships with your team, is to ask them, how can I help? Do you need my help with anything? Is there anything I can do for you? And how can I do better? Right? So, is there anything in this relationship that you think I need to improve? And this is your chance to be open and vulnerable with them to get the feedback about how it's working. Because when you're working remotely with people, you don't have the casual moments to just say, hey, when you said this in that meeting, it really pissed me off, or it made me feel rejected, or whatever, right? And having a meeting to say, hey, boss, I really didn't like that. It's bigger. It's not as easy. So by including that little part in your meetings of like checking in with them and saying, is everything okay with you and with me? Are you happy? How can I make it better? Is there anything I can do? When you open that dialogue up, that's when they're going to tell you the things that they need from you. And then take that feedback on board, even if it's hurtful. You just thank you. I hear you. I appreciate that. I promise I'm going to take that on board. I'm going to look into that. I'm going to see how I can improve and try to improve. Right? I mean, there's no point in asking for feedback if you're not going to try to work on that feedback. So absolutely try to take those things into consideration. Make notes for yourselves. Like, so Greg likes me to check in with him daily. So do that. Check in, put a reminder in Slack or in, whatever note program you're using, or even in your calendar, like check in with Greg and do it. And those little things are going to really improve your relationship with each one of your team members. Trust me, for real. So those are my little quick tricks on how to manage your team remotely in terms of check-ins. Keep those documents. It's nice to have these notes so that when something comes back up later on, you have one central document to search through and see what's going on. It's a good way to track their performance and how they're doing. It's a good way for you to have a collaborative place to work with them on those issues. I definitely would encourage you to incorporate that into your management technique and use these tricks to improve managing your team and see if you can become a badass remote manager. You guys can do this. I know. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I'm happy to chat, jump into a call, or send me an email. I'm happy to answer any questions you have. So good luck and have fun, and I will see you next time.